to Mrs. Patnell's Maths here. We are moving on to a new week of maths. So we did subtraction and we were counting back to subtract last week, and we were doing some adding the week before that. But this week we are moving on to a brand new topic, and it's going to be 3D shape. Now in my class we have mainly talked about 2D shapes, two-dimensional shapes, and that's shapes that are as flat as a pancake. But can you list any 2D shapes, two-dimensional shapes? Triangle, circle, square, a stretched out square, rectangle. We have ovals that look like circles that have been squashed down flat. What else have we looked at? A rhombus, some of us were looking at, that looks a bit like a diamond shape. And, oh, I think that's pretty much most of them actually, isn't it? Yes. So they're 2D shapes because they are flat as a pancake. You could draw it on a piece of paper and it would be a circle because it's flat as a pancake. But this week we are talking about 3D shapes, three-dimensional shapes. So I'll give you a little idea of what I mean first before we move on to it. So 3D shapes are solid shapes. They are solid ones you can pick up and grip in your hands like this. They are not as flat as a pancake, like a 2D shape. They are solid. Look at my hands around this particular 3D shape. Solid ones like this. So I'm going to come back to that in a second because I would like to do our starter of counting. We are going to count to 7, well, we did count to 70 last week, didn't we? I wonder if we can get to 80. What do you think? Should we give it a go? We're going to go high on all the multiples of 5, all the way down to here this week, and then low on all the ones that end in a 0, because we're going to count in 5s after that, and that going high and low helps us pick which numbers we want to say when we're counting in 5s. So we're adding 5 on each time we count in 5s. Okay, but at the moment, let's count in 1s. So we're going to say every number. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Or the 50s start with a 5, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. All the 60s start with a 6, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Whew, we made it to 80. Remember, all the ones that end in a 0 had the T sound, like a cup of tea on the end. All the way to 80. My goodness, we're nearly at 100. Fantastic. Right, let's count in 5s now. We can go a bit further because we've reached 80 and now counting in 1s. Let's go all the way to 80, counting in 5s. Now remember we're adding 5 on each time. So we start at 5, we jump on 5 numbers and say 10. So all the ones that we were going high and low for with our voices. If you've got your 100 squares there, follow it with your finger. Maybe you've coloured them in to make it easier. Are you ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Well done if you got that right. Let's do it one more time. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Whew. If you're getting good at that, then fabulous. I'm most impressed. Now, we also want to do a bit of counting back because I don't want to forget our excellent counting back that we did last week during our subtraction. So I think what I'll do is I will point to a number and I want you to count back the next 4 numbers. We've done this before with counting on, but I want to do it counting back, okay, to the smaller numbers each time, as you would if you were subtracting. So I'm going to point to this number. Can you say this number and then count back the next 4 numbers? Actually, this number is 6, in case you are closing your eyes because you don't want to use the 100 square. So can you count back from 6? Give you a chance to do it. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Excellent counting back. Now, if you don't want to use the 100 square to help you, you can close your eyes. If you do want to use it to help you, that's fine. Can you count back? Can you count back from 8? So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Fabulous, particularly if you had your eyes closed. And let's do one more. Can you count backwards from... All right, let's do another one. So let's do 10 first of all. So I'm going to give you a little while to do it yourself. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Now I'm going to throw in one in the teens because I know none of us really likes counting back from the teen numbers. I understand, it's so tricky. But let's throw one in now to stretch you. Close your eyes if you don't want to use the 100 square to help. But can you count back from 16? Okay, let's try it together. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. If you got those right, fantastic. Now, before we move on to our 3D, one last thing of our startup for our warm-up. I want to bring over my Days of the Week poster again. Hopefully you can see that clearly at home. We are going to sing the Days of the Week to the Addams Family tune. Look for those first capital letters to help you have an idea what day of the week we're singing next, because it's for Monday, Tuesday, for Wednesday, with your tongue poking out for Thursday, t and h together. We've not learnt that sound yet. Friday has a capital F at Saturday and Sunday. So use your phonics knowledge to help you work out what day we're singing next. Are you ready? There's Monday and there's Tuesday. There's Wednesday and there's Thursday. There's Friday and there's Saturday. And then there's Sunday. Days of the week. Clap, clap. Days of the week. Clap, clap. Let's do it one more time. There's Monday and there's Tuesday. There's Wednesday and there's Thursday. There's Friday and there's Saturday. And then there's Sunday. Days of the week. Clap, clap. Days of the week. Clap, clap. So if today is, and you'll be watching this on a Monday, if today is Monday, what will tomorrow be? Tomorrow, the day that hasn't happened yet. It's going to come after this. Today's Monday, tomorrow will be Tuesday. Now this one's a bit trickier. I'm going to ask you, if today's Monday, what would yesterday have been? Now remember these days of the week, go down to the bottom and then come back up and start again. Go down to the bottom, come back up and start again. So they're constantly going around in a circle. Probably help if I had these put around in a circle, but this poster isn't like that, so it's a little bit trickier. So if today's Monday, what would yesterday have been? Oh, there's not one here. to look back to yesterday. So I must have to go back in the circle and say yesterday was Sunday. Okay, let's move on to our 3D shapes now. I'm just going to tilt my camera now so we're sitting at the desk. Okay, so I think we can pretty much pick up on everything there. Make sure you can see this way as well. There we are. Okay, so we are tackling 3D shape this week, okay? So remember me telling you at the beginning of the lesson, it's solid shapes. Shapes you can get your hands around. They're not flat like a pancake, like 2D shapes. Now in front of me on the table, I have a few different 3D shapes, okay, to introduce you to today. Now the idea of this lesson as well, and you don't have to do it now with me, you might want to, if you've got some Play-Doh handy, you might nip off and get it while pausing the video and bring it back, so you can do it with me. Otherwise, you can do it afterwards, and adults will help you because they know what these 3D shapes look like, so they can chat to you and advise you how to make them. But we are going to make 3D shapes with Play-Doh, or probably the best thing to make them with would be if you've got any salt dough at home, or you can make any salt dough, or just clay, anything like that would be great, because I know you're at home and you probably haven't got any 3D shapes at home to help you. So it's very tricky this week trying to think how to do activities if you didn't have your own set of 3D shapes. You could only see them on camera with me. So I thought for this first lesson, we'd talk about the shapes, talk about certain maths language, and also have a go at making our own shapes with some type of dough, whether it be clay, salt dough, or Play-Doh. Now ideally I want you to keep these handy for the whole week so you can use them again to help you with different activities. So if it is Play-Doh, you're going to have to put them very carefully back into the box or the pots so they don't get squashed. So when you get them out over the next few days, they're still in their perfect 3D shapes. If you're going to do clay ones or salt dough, they'll be fab because you can leave them to dry in the air, and then tomorrow they should be quite solid and they won't get squashed and you can use them all week. So clay and salt dough, yippee. Play-Doh, not too bad. I've got Play-Doh here, as you can see. So I am going to talk to you about 3D shapes. I'm going to talk to you about maths language, and in particular I'm going to say about this. So this here is a cube, okay? This 3D solid shape is called a cube, all right? It has, and these are called faces, okay? So if you imagine your own face and it looking out at you, then it might help you remind you that these are faces looking out of the 3D shapes. So every flat side you've got here is called a face, all right? Now on a cube, we can see that those faces are this shape. It's a bit close to the colour of my table, it's hard to say. So these faces are this shape. What shape is that? What shape is this face? It is a square shape, okay? But this isn't a square because obviously it is a solid shape. It's not flat as a pancake. But it does have square-shaped faces on, okay? This one has, let's count them. I'm going to put my finger on the one I've started on. 1, oops, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 on each end, 5, and 6 square-shaped faces on my cube, okay? 6 square-shaped faces on all around the middle and on 1 on each end of my cube. So that is my cube with 6 square-shaped faces. So that's a good way of remembering it. They're all the same shaped face. Some of these have different shaped faces. This one, they're all the same. They're all squares. Can you see that on all sides and on the ends as well? So, all square-shaped faces in a cube. That's very important to remember, all the same. So I would like you to take your Play-Doh or your clay, or you can certainly do this afterwards, but I'm going to do it now because I'm here with my Play-Doh. I want you to use your fingers to try and make a cube with your Play-Doh, okay? I'm squeezing the top and the bottom, and I'm thinking about making each face that's looking out at me a square shape. So I might need to pinch the corners a little bit like this. Pinching, pinching, like this, and then make sure there's squares on the top like a Rubik's Cube. I don't know if you've ever seen a Rubik's Cube before. They made a bit of a comeback. It looks a bit like one of those, Rubik's Cube, because it is a cube shape. So I've kind of done my cube here. You might want to spend a little more time on it at home. So I've got my square-shaped faces on my cube here. Looks a lot like this one because it's the same colour as well. So that's my cube. Lots of square-shaped faces. In fact, 6 square-shaped faces, 4 around the middle and 1 on each end. So my 6 square-shaped faces, there is my cube. While we're here, if you look at my everyday real items, so I've got a toothbrush, toothpaste box, a Toblerone box here, look at that shape on the end. I've got a Satsuma, okay, and I've got some Parmesan cheese, and I've got a dice. Which one of these real items, everyday items, looks like my cube with square faces, 6 of them all the way around the same size? Which one of my everyday items looks a bit like a cube? Is it my toothpaste box? Is that a square-shaped face? Is it my Toblerone chocolate box? Is that a square-shaped face on the end? Is it my Satsuma? Or is it, hello, look, my dice. It has square-shaped faces all the way around the middle, 4 of them, and then 1 on each end as well. So that is, my dice is a cube shape. So everyday items can also be 3D shapes. And there's my dice, it is a cube shape. Okay, let's get rid of my dice because we've done him already. And there's my cube and my Play-Doh cube. Next up, we're going to look at, let's go with this one. Look at this one. No flat faces at all. It is completely curved all the way around. Completely curved face. No flat faces at all. What must that be? It is a sphere. A sphere. Strange word to say. It has a sound, then a f sound. Sphere. Sphere. But they almost squeeze together, almost like they're the same sound. Sphere. Look at that. This has no flat faces on it at all. It has no edges. Let me look back at the, hang on, my sphere has a habit of rolling away. Hold on a minute. Because it looks like a ball, doesn't it? A little hole at the bottom that it's resting on. Or not resting on. Let's park it here. So on my cube, I had these pointy corners here and lots of straight edges on my cube. But on my sphere, are there any edges? Are there any pointy corners? No, it's just continuously curved. And that is my sphere. Now we're going to have a go at making a sphere. Take a blob of your Play-Doh. Best way, I think, is to roll it in your hand because you're making a ball. And I imagine you've probably done that at some point before. Made a ball with your Play-Doh or your clay. And then when I feel like it's the shape of a ball, I'm going to stop because that is my sphere. All curved all the way around, no flat faces, no edges, no pointy corners. There's my sphere, okay? Now, which one of my everyday items looks like a sphere? Is it my Parmesan cheese? Is it my toothpaste? Does that look like a sphere? Is it my Satsuma? Does that look like a sphere? Yes, look at my everyday Satsuma. It looks like the shape of a sphere. So another everyday thing that looks like a 3D shape. Right, let's put my Satsuma down there and put my sphere and my homemade Play-Doh sphere next to each other. Let's put you over here. Are you going to stop rolling? Yes. Okay, next up on my list. Let's go with this one. Look at this one. Look at that flat face. What shape is that? And look, there's another one on the other end, and it has another face that's curved all the way around. Not flat, but curved. This is called a cylinder. A cylinder. I've even got, look, a little small one here, a little small yellow one. It has the same circle-shaped faces on each end and a curved face around the middle. It can be tiny or it can be bigger like this. They're still all cylinders. So that is my cylinder. So 2 faces are flat and they are shaped like a circle. And then the third face is a curved one all the way around the middle. Let's have a go at making one of those. Here it is. I'm going to roll it like this first of all to make it a kind of sausage shape, and then pat the ends down so that they turn into circles on the end. Bit more rubbing like this, squeeze it in. Okay, it's a bit like a tin of beans as well, a cylinder. So there's my cylinder. I have circle face there, and a curved face around the middle. And that is my cylinder. There it is. Now, what everyday shape looks like my cylinder with circle faces on each end and a curved face around the middle? Which one? Is it my toothpaste box here? Does that look like a cylinder? No, it doesn't. So it can't be that. Does it look like my Toblerone box with triangles on the end? Does this have a triangle face on the end? No, it can't be my Toblerone. Is it my pot of Parmesan cheese? Circle faces and curved ones around the middle? Yes, there is my cylinder, my pot of Parmesan cheese. And as I said earlier, look like tins of beans, tins of fruit. That's the shape of a cylinder. Let's put my Parmesan cheese down. There is my cylinder. Right, let's go next with this one. This one is called a cuboid. A cuboid. Sounds like cube, but has an oid sound on the end. Cuboid. So this is my cuboid. I think it shares a bit of a similar name with a cube because it's very similar to a cube. Look, square shaped face here, square shaped face here. But the other faces here are stretched out squares. They're not all the same length along the edge and along the bottom. So these have rectangle shaped faces. Their faces look like rectangles. So this is actually called a cuboid. So not the same as a cube because not all of the faces are squares. I want to show you, I don't know if I've got another cuboid here. Sometimes cuboids can have rectangle shaped faces on the ends and around the middle as well. So they can be rectangle shaped all the way around. This particular cuboid has square shaped faces on each end, but then rectangles all the way around. So a cuboid. It has 1, and keep my finger on it here, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 on one end and 6 there. 6 shaped faces, just like a cube as well. So both have 6 flat faces, but this one has lots of rectangle faces. So it's a cuboid. Let's have a quick go at making a cuboid. Got my Play-Doh. I'm going to sort of squeeze it. I want to get those rectangles on each side. So I can't make square shaped faces on the middle bit around the middle. Got to think rectangles. My end shapes can be squares. So I'm going to start giving them 4 sides to them faces there. But my middle part must be rectangles, okay? So I think I've pretty much done it. I've got square faces on each end. I've got rectangular faces here in the middle. So this is one type of cuboid. Looks like this one. Can you see an everyday item that looks like a cuboid? I have my toothpaste here, okay? And I have my Toblerone chocolate bar. This one has a triangle shape on the end, so it can't be that one. So my cuboid is my toothpaste box. It is a cuboid. There we are. Let's pop that down there. There's my cuboid. Now, I'm not going to run through all the others with you because adults, I'm not make all the others because adults can help you with that at home, but I will just talk you through some of the other ones without making them. I've got this one. Now, everyone always remembers this when I first teach it to them. This is, look, it has a point on the end of this one. It has a curved face here, but then a flat face that looks like a circle. If I hold it like this, it will give you a clue to its name, and even if I pretend to lick the top, it is a cone. So that 3D shape is called a cone, and it looks just like an ice cream cone. I didn't have one here to show you, okay, so I haven't got a cone in real life, an ice cream cone, but if you ever look at one, you'll see it's a cone shape, okay? So that's a cone. Feel free to make one of those at home. What else haven't I shown you? I want to show you, let's have a quick look at this one. This is a bit stretching you here because we're going into some of the more trickier 3D shapes. But this one, just so that you know and you've heard it in at least lesson 1, has triangle-shaped flat faces on both ends, okay? There's another triangle there with 3 sides. Remember, tri means 3. But then, look, on its body, it has rectangle-shaped faces going around the middle here. Rectangle-shaped faces, but triangles on the end. Now, this 3D shape is a type of prism, and because it has triangles on the ends, it is a triangular prism. Triangular prism. And look at my Toblerone. It's got a bit squashed. I'll give you that because it's a few years old. But it has rectangle-shaped faces around the middle, and on each end, triangle-shaped faces. So this is a triangular prism as well. Fabulous. So that's that. And then last of all, for those of you that really like to be stretched, this one here has, and I'm going to start counting the edges on this face, okay? The sides on this face, should I say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got 5 sides on this face here and 5 sides on this end. Does anyone remember what a 5-sided shape is? It is a pentagon. So this one is a prism, like we had a triangular prism. There it is. This one is equally a prism, but it's a pentagonal prism because there's a pentagon-shaped face on this end and a pentagon-shaped face on this end. So very tricky. You don't have to remember this one, okay, but it is a pentagonal prism, all right? It has rectangular-shaped faces around the edge, just like the triangular prism had, but on each end it has 5-sided shaped face, so it's a pentagon-shaped face, so it's a pentagonal prism, okay? But those two particularly tricky, so don't worry if you don't get those. Most important is a cone, a sphere, a cylinder, a cube with its square-shaped faces, and a cuboid with its rectangular shaped faces around the middle, but often squares or can be rectangles on the end to make it a cuboid. Okay, so if you haven't made your shapes with me during the lesson, then pop off now. You can always make yourself a recipe that you can gain online on how to make Play-Doh. It's quite straightforward. You just need something strange called cream of tartar, so that might not be in your cupboards. You might have to nip out and get it. I understand it's hard to go shopping at the moment, so it might be tricky to make your shapes, but if you could find some way of making them, it will help you with the rest of the week, because you would need to see these 3D shapes to really get used to them. It's okay seeing them on my screen, but there's nothing quite like picking up and feeling them and exploring them for yourself, okay? So that is, and I'm going to tilt the camera back because otherwise I'm talking and you can't see me. There we go. So that is the end of today's maths lesson. We're going to be talking about 3D shapes all week. So hopefully you'll be back again tomorrow and we can do different things that are quite practical and hands-on with our 3D shapes. And I will see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.